Ali, is that you?
Yes, that's me.
Ali, you don't look
Yes,
like my friend Ali. What did you do with my friend Ali?
it's me. Look
Are
at
you
the half
uh,
part of me.
uh, are you a human or a cyborg?
Yeah, I am a cyborg, but I'm half human too.
What are you
Cy-
doing here?
cy-
Are you gonna be with me in the show today?
yes, half of me is going to be here, and the other half is the robot that has been invented so that it can serve me and does everything for me while I'm sitting on the couch relaxing. He does everything, even the job, and pays me money.
Amazing. So tell me, how can I get a toy like you in my house?
You have to wait for the next 20 to 30 to 50 years, maybe. And then
Khalas, tell me all about it. Let's go.
let's go. Whoop. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
I'm
This
good.
is the Ali that I know.
Oh, where's my other half, man? Where did it go? I think I'm back. I'm back
No,
to
no,
realistic.
no. Leave it this way.
Back
We
to
want you this way.
reality.
We want back to reality. So how's things on your side?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. And how is our viewers doing? Assalamu alaikum to all of you, and welcome to Chat Away in Ummati Station. This is our last episode before Ramadan. Not the final episode, inshallah, but this is the last, and we will have another show, inshallah, starting in Ramadan.
Inshallah, inshallah. So how's things on your side? I think I was shocked to see you half human, half cyborg. And the way things are going and technology advancement is moving so fast, you know, you might sleep and get up in the morning and everything is robotics. So we're very concerned and
that's very true. But the thing is, if you go back, let's say 100 or 300 years back, and ask those people and tell them there'll be a big metal or big metal steel that is I don't know how many tons, more than 100 ton, that's going to fly on the air, will carry 300 people, and everybody up there will be relaxing and enjoying their life. Nobody's going to believe that. But today,
yes, absolutely.
You see an airplane flying, and it's like it's nothing. You know, I kind of got used to it. So I'm going to tell you, next time you see a cyborg, I don't know, 20, 30 years from now, you'll see a person like that, half robot, you will not be surprised. It's going to be normal.
I hope I don't live until that day. I like my friends full humans, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. So with that, I would like to introduce our guest for today, who is going to talk about the future jobs and the cyborg and the AI. And you know what AI is, yes? Artificial intelligence. Her name is MARYAM AAMRY. Who is MARYAM AAMRY? She's a founder and CEO of Youth Vision. Her mission in life is to empower youth, like myself, not you, Hatim, to be leaders so they can build themselves and their countries. She's a member in Middle East Leadership Academy 2019. She was selected as one of the Arab pioneers in Arab Youth Summit in UAE in 2018. Women's Special Award for Entrepreneurship and Innovation in 2017. She was selected as Ambassador of Youth in Oman for a contest called Challenge 22 for the World Cup in Qatar in 2022. MashaAllah. And I think there are more and more, and she's going to talk about it, inshallah. So let us welcome MARYAM. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Ali. Wa alaikum assalam, Hatim.
How are you doing?
I'm so happy that I'm with you on your show. I'm good. I'm fine. Alhamdulillah.
I think we're the happy ones to have you
today on the show. We're honored to have you on the show today, MARYAM. And you are the second woman to appear on our show. And inshallah, we're going to have
only
more sisters. Yes, the second.
We need to go out more.
You're the second, but the first Omani to appear on our show.
Oh my God, I will nominate some people for you, some ladies, please.
Inshallah, inshallah,
Why not? Why not?
inshallah, inshallah. And I
Inshallah.
think our community has a lot of sisters who are very creative, very hardworking, very brilliant, more than the men as well. And we need to highlight them through this show and introduce them to the society, inshallah. And today, this is what we're doing. And we want to learn more from Maryam today, inshallah.
We
Inshallah,
will learn
inshallah.
together, inshallah.
So,
Bi'idhnillah.
starting with that, talking about
Yeah,
future jobs, and people might have seen the title. Let us see or know the differences between jobs, income, freelancing, career. What is all this? These terms.
yeah. So there is a misunderstanding about, let's say, career or jobs, because most of our graduates, when we are working together in different programs for job seekers, they don't know the difference between a job, career, why they want a job, um, how they will get a job or a career or to be a freelancer or anything. Um, and I realized this, it's not only for the job seekers, it's like in everywhere. Most people, they target only a job. They didn't work on their career.
Mm,
This is the difference between a job and a career. A career is something that will sustain with you for your whole life, no matter if you have a job or be a freelancer or you are working per project or you are consultant in your field, or you can get different sources of income based on your career. So the main focus for you, it's to be in your career, not only a job. A job is the part of the career, and focusing on improving and developing your career will bring you jobs and extra income. So this is the difference.
mm.
Is
Amazing.
So yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
yes, I was just gonna ask, is everybody going to have a career? Or some people will have jobs and some people will have careers?
That's what we teach in our program, especially doctor program. It depends on the personality and the reasons of the person himself. He just wants, like a safe job, a job that have only a salary and working in just one organization for the whole life, or he wants to do something more and an impact and develop that field that he studied for 5 years or 4 years or 6 years in not only in Oman but in the whole world. So from the reason that they want, or from the goal that he or she wants to do in her life, they will decide if they just want a job or they want to build a career.
Yes.
I think we have a question here by MMUD95 and says career is long-term alignment. Which jobs follow the career?
Yeah.
Or
Which job?
MashaAllah.
follow the career. Uh, is that a question or is that a statement? I think it
A
sounds like a
statement.
I
I
statement.
think
think
I
It
it's
think
sounds
a
like a
statement.
statement.
I think it's a statement. It's a statement. What about
Yeah.
freelancing?
So the
Where does it
freelancers is
fall?
part, yeah, okay. So the freelancers is part of the career, but another thing is their hobbies and skills. So they can implement their hobbies and skills to have, like another income through freelancing. And the freelancing, what it's called now, gig economy, as a big, let's say, field or sector in the world, and it's increasing very fast. I mean, like in the whole world, it's the income from the freelancing field or sector, 43, I think, percent now in USA, and it will increase by the 2025 to 50, I think, or 60% of the income. So people, they are going to freelancer more than they having a job. So the freelancing is using our my skills, my hobbies, something that I like, to implement it in a project in another, like companies or government sector or NGOs or whatever, and specific time with a specific task, and then I get my money. So it's not like a long contract like a job. It's only very, very short contract, and it's only for one project, for example, and it's based on one in tasks that I can implement or I can work on it. So this is the freelancing, and basically the freelancing industries is under the creative industries, for example, designing, editing videos, photographing, those kinds of industry. It's called creative industries. But also we have writing, translating, um,
Mm.
yeah, those kinds of jobs that under freelancing. But I think it's growing very fast, and more and more of these kinds of jobs is I mean, like getting specific and bigger, and everyone asks for freelancing in different fields. For example, let's say creating content, social media, digital marketing, developing websites, applications, those kinds of jobs, or
Now,
let's say projects.
Mariam, is freelancing in services or products or both?
Both, both. We can do the
Both.
freelancing in both in projects, and but in projects it's mainly like it goes under e-commerce, let's say. So if I want to buy a product that I work on it, or I produce it, I think it will be like e-commerce. I put it in a platform that will sell my product, and I get money. And um, these kinds of let's say trading is called passive income. So maybe, for example, I make a product and put it in a platform, and people started to buy this product while I'm sleeping in my bed,
Mm.
because they are doing the marketing and the distributing and everything. So also the trading in the world is changing, and it's generating more and more of income source, let's say, and different career and different jobs and different things that we can get income if it's the main things that I want. But also at the same time I can build and develop my career or my skills through these things. At the same time I can get an income. The freelancing platforms in the world, it's getting bigger and bigger. um, Here in Oman, recently, I heard a lot of companies to support freelancing platforms for Omanis. And these platforms are different. They are, for example, for creative industries, some of the platforms it's general, some of the platforms it's related to one, for example, for logistic and etc. So even here in Oman, we start to think about freelancer industry or sector, but still we need more about changing the laws and having something to secure the freelancers and also the companies that will take those freelancers in their projects, spreading the culture between the community and the youth and the companies itself, and also the government sector to use those freelancers platforms. So if we want this industry or this sector going bigger here in Oman, we have to work on the laws and policies and security and spreading the culture, changing the mindset of the community and people. I think I'm going very deep in the in the topic
Well,
now.
yeah, but the thing is, don't you think there's a big challenge, especially if someone wants to start freelancing from scratch, and he doesn't have any other source of income? Don't you think that'll be difficult for that person to start? I mean, is there any particular challenges that's happening in Oman, let's say, for example, for such people?
I Yes, I think it's difficult, but at the same time, it's not impossible if he starts very early. For example, we encourage students from colleges and universities to start earlier to have, like very small income, but at the same time, the purpose of becoming freelancer while they are students is to get brand for themselves and to improve their skills and to have, like projects and to learn from their mistakes and etc. So that they can, like they can improve while they are studying. After that, maybe they can having very big projects. Their skills are well improved. Their brand, I mean, like personal brands everywhere. So people ask for their, like services or products so that they work on it. So um, yes, it's very difficult for job seeker or for um, like the person who doesn't have any income. So, but if we start very early, I think it will increase very, very fast. But also, maybe he can be a freelancer in sectors that we really need it here in Oman, and it's very high demand on that sector. Um, and there are no a lot of people they are working on that sector. So maybe if anyone wants to have an income very fast, they have to choose something that it's needed here in Oman, and there's a very high demand on it.
How would they know? What's the demand? Is it through newspapers or is
They
there a particular place you go to?
No, they can see it from like announcement in this Instagram, for example, for small and medium businesses, or they can ask the companies what kind of projects that they are working on, what they need for it
Mm.
all the time, and they didn't find it. Maybe they can also go and sign in platforms, maybe in Arab platforms or global platforms, and see what's the most important or the most let's say high demand skills that they ask in their platforms, so he can focus on that. But at the same time, I don't encourage people that they do something that they don't like. It's only for the money, because at the end of the time, at the end of the day, they have to do something that related to their passionate, especially for freelancer, and also very, very high quality. So the quality in freelancers, it's very important, and also the speed of submit the job or the task. This is the main requirement for freelancers, by the way, in the platforms. Most of the platforms, the challenges of the platforms of freelancers is the quality
Mm.
and the speed of submitting the task. So as much as they can, if they have those two things, I think they will, like get a lot of jobs or tasks or projects that they can work on it.
I
Right.
can I share my experience with freelancing and the challenges that I faced, especially for those who are into training. You know, the industry in the past 2 years or 3 years, they started seeking training assistants locally instead of sending people abroad because of the economic crunch. But and
Hmm.
then when you go and provide your training services as a freelancer, you get stuck when it comes to payment, because they can't pay you as an individual. You have to submit an
Mm,
invoice from a company or a training company, while you are a freelancer, you don't have a training
Yes.
company.
yeah.
And
Yes.
then you go in circles where they cannot pay you cash and they have to subcontract it to another company. And so I think what you said in the beginning, that there should be certain regulations and laws
Yes.
to facilitate freelancing, especially that it's an easy way to make money, and you have local talents and capabilities who are able to do the job, maybe half of the price that you would pay if you send your
Mm.
staff abroad. But if you only make the rules and regulations flexible for freelancers
Hmm.
to work easily, and at the same
Yeah.
time, you also want to register these freelancers. You don't want everybody to show up in front of your door claiming to be
Yeah,
trainers,
validate,
and they train
validate the
everybody.
freelancer,
So you need to
validate
validate
them.
them and then
Yes.
release them to do whatever
Mm.
they want from freelancing jobs.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean of you know if we want this sector to be one of the sectors, economic sectors here in Oman, we have to manage and we have to regulate all the policies, also the benefits for freelancers, because some of the people maybe they decide to be our freelancers for the whole life. So, for example, if they want a loan to buy a car, or like a loan for building a house, even if they, their income is higher than any employee in any like company or government sector or whatever, but still they will not give him a loan if they don't have anything um, what's called
A steady
guarantee them
income.
or guarantee him. So
Like
that's
guaranteed
what I
contract.
mean. Yes, that's what I mean, that we have regulation policies. How can we give them benefits? How can we encourage also the ministries, the private company, the uh, small companies to work with those freelancers? And by the way, most of the big companies now in the world, they shrink their like their companies in terms of human resources, and they start outsourcing for like freelancers. And because especially the small businesses, they don't need like a full-time employee if they don't have projects to work on it. So freelancer, for them it's better to get this human resource to work on a project, and then they finish and they pay for them, and that's it.
All right. We're going to take a few comments from the viewers. So let us just go through
Yeah.
them, and then there are a few questions as well. So okay, first of all, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. This is by Saeed Abdul Ghafoor. That was one of our great guests, and he actually says that he's a freelancer at the moment. Yes, indeed. Love for humanity. Nice session. And then we also have another comment here. Freelancing seems to be only based on measurable projects like freelancing for video editing, social media campaign. You clearly see when they are going to finish. But is it different from outsourcing?
No, it's not. It's part of outsourcing. I can outsource from small companies. I can outsource from a person that he can do this work for us. And about the fields here in Oman, yes, we start to work with freelancers in video editing, in photograph. I think website developer, if I'm not mistaken, and social media, of course, managing social media. But I think this field will increase if we bring more jobs for freelancers. If we open this if sector for the whole community and for the whole youth that they want to be freelancer, and also if those companies and ministries put some projects or small projects for freelancers to do it instead of like hiring full-time job, especially
Okay.
the projects that have limited time.
Mhm. Ali Al-Bimani said, Assalamu alaikum all. Nice to see you, Maryam. I think in Oman, the most growing freelancing sector is the transportation and delivery services. And I think, yes, as an example, you would see
Yes.
Talabat and others, especially during COVID. And you see how much it started
Yes,
that you actually get to buy grocery. In fact, today we just received our grocery delivered to
exactly.
the house. Yes.
Me too.
I
I
think
start to have the glossary online. I mean, like every Sunday they bring it to our house.
Mm,
So yeah.
I think for freelancers, it's a golden opportunity to take this pandemic as a gateway to be
Yes.
creative and to
yes.
provide services that people need. Because
True.
I think maybe previously the case was different, but
Mm-hmm.
now there is a lot of services that you can provide as a freelancer and you don't have any sort of regulations or constraints to provide these services. So the young people sitting at home, you have to do something about this golden opportunity and make some money.
Yeah, it's very huge, like it's very huge sector, not here in Oman. I mean, they can work in around the world and they are here in Oman. There are a lot of opportunities that they can, like compete with outside Oman, but they have to work on themselves. They have to work in their knowledge, in their skills, in their hobbies, and they have to work very hard to compete outside. Because now the freelancers sector, it's not only, for example, I am a CEO of, like a small business. So when I want to hire a freelancer for one of my projects, it's okay for me. I mean, like, it's, if I found someone with a very high quality and very, like, very fast to deliver, at the same time it's cheap for me from outside Oman and a global platform, I will pay for them for this job. I mean, but if I found it's just, like, if I just put in my mind that, oh, okay, I will give to an Omani, but I will struggle with them with the time and quality and the money itself, I think I will change my mind, because at the end of the day, I am, like, I want to for this job to be done and in a very good price. So here, when I say that we have to compete not here only in Oman, but also outside Oman, we have to be, like, very professional. Let's say very professional in the things that we are doing, and we have to improve ourselves very fast and to learn from other peoples from outside Oman. Yes, it's a huge industry, but it needs a lot of work on yourself if you want to be a freelancer.
Ali, can I say something to you? With the skills that you have in editing and design and the beautiful things that you're doing on the screen, you can make a lot of money abroad. So do something about it
Yes.
and get a lot of money and then pay my debts. Okay?
I think what you said, Hatim, is totally correct. In fact, I have actually tried when I first quit my job. That was in 2008. I started to provide training to companies, and that was a registered one. So I won't really call it the freelancing. But my freelancing part was the design and film editing part, which
Yes.
every now and then I receive, and sometimes I receive more money from editing and designing than actually from actual training people. So what I did is
And
later on I closed my business and I was just delivering training as a freelancer. So everybody, whoever
Hmm.
wants to invite me, I just go and deliver the talk, and then that's it. I'm done with it. So I do, but having a day job is one thing, but this is maybe something that could add value. I would love to be a freelancer for the rest of my life, and that's the only source of income I would get. But at the moment, maybe it's a bit of challenging for me.
but I think the skills that you're doing, Ali, like in the introduction, you did the half human, half cyborg. Not a lot of people can do that. That's very creative. And speaking about that, yes, that ugly thing. Yes. So speaking about that, Ali, it reminds us of the future jobs, and maybe
Mm,
Maryam can tell us more about the future jobs, because there's going to be a lot of opportunities in the future, which are
Yeah.
quite different than the opportunities that we have at the moment. So, Maryam, can you please tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. As we know, we all know, I mean, like, there are a lot of research now is going on, and also before, like, for example, World Economic Forum, and I think United Emirates also, they did some research about the future jobs in Emirates. Saudi Arabia also, they did some research about the future job in Saudi. So I think most of the countries, they are doing this because they want to predict and to forecast what the future job, based of course in their economic industries that they want to focus on and etc. But in general, for the whole world, they predict in World Economic Forum reports about the jobs. that 70, I think 75 million jobs that will disappear by 2025, or I think 2030. I think 2025. But at the same time, 130 million jobs will create it. I mean, like new jobs that will create it. So yes, there are a lot of jobs will disappear that we are doing right now. For example, data entry. I think the delivery, what's called the mail person who deliver the mail, um, accountants, cashiers. Most of these, like
Trainers.
repeated trainers. Yeah, maybe trainers in the future will have like robotic. Even they say, the presenters for radios and TV, they say that also this is will disappear some in a while.
Oh.
So be ready for that, Ali.
Oh, we're gonna lose our job,
I
Ali. We're
I
gonna lose our job. They're
I
gonna
didn't
replace us.
I didn't believe that I have
Where,
started live streaming, and I thought this is the
what,
future.
Ali? Where will they?
Yeah.
Where will they find? Why? Where will they find a robot with your charms, Ali?
No, man. No. Never, man. Never.
So any jobs that like having let's say hand um, work, I
Operated.
think it will disappear. Operated, this
Mm,
will disappear. And also, when any job that it's repeated, like for example, I'm repeating doing this job the whole day or every day. Those kinds of jobs, name all the jobs
mm,
that kind, it will disappear. What
mm.
we
Routine
will
tasks.
stay, or what will,
Routine.
yes, routine tasks, because it will disappear because of the machine and technology and algorithms and internet of things, and as you said before, Ali, artificial intelligence, that they like doing the job while um, from the data that it's recorded every day.
Mm-hmm.
So the technology will do all of these things. For example, the call centers. I mean, like now when we call, for example, Bank Muscat call center or Amantel, those
Yes.
most call centers that I called in my
Mm.
life. Sorry.
Wait, I want
So,
I wonder why you call them. Because of their wonderful services, mashallah. You keep on calling them.
so who answer from the beginning of the call until the end? I mean, like machines. I mean, they answer all the questions that we
Oh
need
man.
based on the information that we enter.
Mm.
So,
And then
less and less call centers person, they will disappear, and we need people who will let's say program those surfaces. We don't need the person that he do the job. We want a person who give the machine or the technology the instructions and the scenarios and the information and how they work. So most of the jobs, the future jobs, needs critical thinking, needs analytical thinking, needs creativity, innovative thinking, because this is what we need to program all these machines and technology and use the technology in our fields. For example, doctors, maybe in the future we don't need a doctor who will like ask the patient what's going on, what do you have, and etc etc.
mm.
Maybe there is a machine that they will ask, or to put all the information, and this machine, if it's artificial intelligence, they will bring all the information of that patient, and maybe they predict what's the medicine what they have you know so the
And do the
doctors,
actual operation, surgery. I think,
um, yes, I
and I think
think
it's
it's hard to
happening.
do this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially in the very, like critical, I think, operation inside the human being, they need maybe a machine to do this. So the types of jobs in the futures will need all these skills that we have to
Mm.
teach our students or teach our children from now to do it. I mean, instead of memorizing the information, instead of asking them to do one and two and three, We have to give them a goal and they have to think about how to do it. This is the critical thinking. This is where innovative come. This is when we teach them how to be ready for the future jobs. So, for example, the engineers. So maybe they can study the basics of the engineering, but maybe the type of jobs that they will work on it, it's not operational. It's like related to technology and how the application or websites or whatever they are using, the machines, the projects that they will use, how to manage it, how to, like put the information that they need, the job that they need from them to do it, and etc. So the fields will be there, but the types of jobs of these fields will change. For example, we
I
will not need data entry,
Mm-hmm.
but we will need data analytical. We will need like data qualification. I don't know, a lot of, like something related to data and how can we generate from data solutions, how can we use these data to solve a problem or to predict something or to analyze something or to come up with something. So data itself, for example, I'm statistical, I study statistics,
Mm-hmm.
but now there are a lot of, like programs to do that what we did before, in before 5, 10 years maybe, by our hands. And now just enter the data there, and then the whole calculation will like did in this program. No need even to think how they did
Mm.
it and
Will
why.
decide.
Yes.
but
So
I just
by
have
improving
a
the.
concern. I just have a concern about the thinking ability of the human being. If everything is done on our behalf, what will remain for humans? And I give you a certain scenario that happened recently, which differentiates between the humans and the machines, especially for
Mhm,
the human interaction part, where a father who is a doctor had a son who had a drug overdose, and he was sent to the hospital, and his heart stopped, and they did CPR, and they couldn't save him. And the doctors, they decided to give up, and that's it. But the father insisted to continue on the CPR for another 20 minutes, and the heart was revived. So I'm just thinking of this scenario: if there is a machine that is programmed to do certain things in a certain way and cannot make the judgment like a human
Mm.
being, will they be able to do the task the way humans do it? Of course, the machines are more efficient, but when it comes to judgment, then I would rather have a human doctor than have a machine to treat me. And I might be wrong in this, but I think the humans are still more superior to machines in terms of making a judgment and having feelings
mhm,
towards a certain aspect. I remember almost 20 years ago or 15 years ago, when I was in the finance department, we used to do the calculations and accounting physically,
mhm,
the reconciliation and everything. And then a company like Oracle came and introduced a
mhm.
software where, with a click of a button, everything is done, which made my life
Yes.
very, very simple. But
Mhm,
I'm glad that I understand how it works, and now I don't have to do it. It's make my life easier. But for the coming
mhm.
generation, their life will be easier, but would they understand the process?
Okay, that's great. But can I ask you a question based on your financial and accounting example? When this Oracle program doing all the reports that you need in the department for you, then those information or those reports, who will decide, who will think about it, what we can do with this information and the data?
The engineers who
I mean,
designed
like,
it. But
no, no, no. I
me,
mean,
I
like,
cannot. I cannot know if the calculations done by the software they're right or not. I just have to have faith that the engineers did the right thing and the calculation and the numbers that I'm getting are right. If anything goes wrong, I cannot really know with my limited capabilities of the machine.
It's
But if I
example.
have an
It's the
understanding, but I have if I have a
it's like
general understanding, then when I see the numbers, I would know, okay, there
yeah.
must be something wrong here.
It's exactly the same example for, like driving a car or
Mm-hmm.
going in a flight in a plane, because
Yes.
you give the machine, like
The whole
a trust.
trust.
Yeah, the whole trust. So even the pilot, they are not, like doing this. They manage how to, driving. It's called driving. I don't know.
Flying,
Flying.
The
flying the
Flying.
plane, flying the
so
plane.
so yes, so they know the direction, they know
Mm.
the technique between this, but they are just pressing some of the buttons there, and they, like you give them trust, you give the machine trust, the engineer who make this
Mm.
plane trust, and also the pilot. It's the same. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
example. We are improving, the human being and the world are improving and developing everything, the science, the machines, the tools that we have, the processes, everything. So do you know what's the problem here? Is that the technology is very fast. We have It's very fast in developing and having a lot of technology at this, but in comparison with the education and the skills that we have as a human, we are behind a lot from this machine. And there is the problem. There is a gap between our skills and education and um, uh, the knowing of the technology and how to do comparison with the technology and application and website and etc. And this is, let's say, this is the things that we have to work on. Not to be afraid of, but to work on how can we improve our skills so that we can improve these technologies more and more. For example, before our mothers or grandmothers, they were washing the clothes by their hands.
Mm.
They never maybe they will at that time, maybe if I bring them the washing machine, they will say, no, I'm not trusting the washing machine that will like washing the clothes like I did. How this wash machine it will wash our clothes in the same process and etc., and how it will be efficient and etc. and etc. So it's the same. Anything that we have now, we are afraid how it will be in the future, and how
Mm-hmm.
can we interact or work with it. That's why I'm asking about the reports that Oracle program doing for you, the financial report. So the decision makers will take the decision based on that report. The reports, maybe when you did it before without Oracle program, it took for you 1 month, but now it took seconds or minutes, or it's based on the information that you enter on it basic in regular time. But taking the decisions very fast and improving the business is very fast because of that program Oracle, and that the reports that it generates every day or every month or anytime that I want. So I can take
Yes.
a financial decision very fast. Do I want to buy this? Do I want to invest on this? Do I want to do this? Where is our cost going on? Why it's going on like this and that? So who is doing this critical thinking? The human being. It's
Mm.
not about the outcome of the machines. It's about what we are using. How can we use this outcome of this machine, and why I have this machine or this technology for what? So this is what we want our generation, next generation, to to have. It's the asking of why and how can I benefit from this and that. This is the innovation, by the way. The innovation is to doing to develop a process or a product or a services, um, using the things that you have now to be better or to be efficient, or to less time or less effort or less money. So instead of just using the things, we think how to use it very efficient, or we think how to use it in very short time, or in very short in less cost, and etc. So here, what a human um, um, needs, even if the job is changed because of the technology, we need innovative minds, we need creativity, we need critical thinking, we need, again, those people who can develop and improve, and having solution for the problems that they come. But from the human side, in like for doctors or for psychometric, I don't know, surfaces or surfaces that need human interact, even the teaching, by the way, I think this is will not disappear like 100% for machines or for robotics.
There should
We will
always be a
still need those.
feedback. There should always be
Yes,
a
we will
feedback
still,
by a human being.
exactly. Yes, mentor this those mentor those robotic, or maintaining them, or like give them information, or like, I don't know, but still we will need human to manage all those technology or machines or etc.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me ask.
Hatem, before you ask, let us just take a
Yes.
few comments from our viewers, and then we can go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
MXT Design says, talk about pilots and flying planes. A few years ago, there were 2 planes crashed by the Boeing 737 MAX due to an AI glitch.
They are.
The, yeah, the more we relax and let AI take over, the more frequent such tragedies might happen. I would agree with that. I mean, see, at this time, where maybe we have, with the limited intelligence that we have, I would say, or knowledge of the future, at this time, this is what we're going to say. But 20 or 30 years from now, maybe our thought will be different. We don't know. Maybe we will handle everything 100% to the machine. Who knows? But now we cannot
Exactly,
say that. We
like the
cannot say it's
cars.
possible. We will say it's
Yes,
impossible to have that. But you never
yes,
know.
exactly. Yeah, and
Uh,
how can these kinds of technology will develop if there's no mistakes? I mean, like, of course there will be risk and mistakes, and to develop all these machines. For example, the cars. I mean, like the car 10 years before or 20 years before, it's different than the cars that we have now. We have now cameras in the cars, we
mhm.
have sensors, we have a lot of things that decrease the accidents that we have before, like.
Very true. Very true. We have a question by Love for Humanity. Can you discuss the ethical side of using artificial intelligence, knowing that such a technology can be at the wrong hands?
Of course, there are a lot of, let's say, research on the ethical sides of technology in general, and AI, and how can this affect the um, social impacts and environment also, and on the human resource. And improving the technology, it needs a lot of working on improving our social, interact, and um, ethical, the morals, all these things. We have to take care of it, because we don't want, like technology, control us or control our lives. Or, for example, of course, this is because of COVID, but COVID, when it came, there's no social, let's say, events, or, like gathering or etc. And that having a negative impact on our life, and our also feelings, and emotions, and etc. So here, where we have to make sure that there is a balance between the technology and the social and environment, like part.
Okay.
I have a tricky question.
Oh, so it's a tricky question, not a burning question. So they're two different, huh?
No, today we'll not have a burning
I'm getting
question. We'll
you.
have a tricky question.
I'm
Yes.
getting you, brother.
So Maryam said that there is a gap between education and the technological advancement. Um, does all the nations need these technological advancement? Are we late, or is it imposed on us and we are forced to adapt them while we still don't need them because it's an industry? People are making money out of it.
I will give an
It's
example
it's it's
about
a
what you said.
it's an easy question. It's an easy quiz.
It's very yeah, it's an easy question, I know. You know, there is a difference between a smart cities and sustainable cities. Smart cities, it's using the technology in all the cities, just using the technology, because these big companies of technology and who sell the technology to the countries or to people or etc., they want to sell their products at the end of the time. So they sell the
Yes.
concept of smart cities, you know. But um, the thing that we have to focus is the sustainable cities, because this will make our cities sustainable. It's not only about the technology, it's about the environment, the social impact, the economic impact, everything to sustain these cities. So it's not like a phrase or a concept that we have to just buy this technology to be, like smart cities or smart countries or smart education or etc. It's not about being smart using the technology. It's about why I'm using this technology and how can I benefit from this technology without harming the environment and the social and etc. So I hope I answered your question.
Actually, I have another burning question.
Oh.
It's about
Before you ask the burning question, if you can give us an
yes.
example, Hatim, I mean, why you asked that question? Is there any example that is happening of people not into technology or country not into technology?
Okay, let us take example Africa. Yes, you have
Mhm.
millions of populations where people rely on their daily meals from the jobs like farming and labor
Mm-hmm.
work and so on, and they don't have resources, and they most of the people are illiterate. So if you introduce technologies and replace all these processes with machines, these people who are relying on their daily wages, they won't have anything to do, and they don't have the means and the intellect ability to run the machines that you'll have to bring other people who are smart enough to run these machine, or know how to run these machine. So what will happen to the millions of people in Africa? So the reason why I asked this question is, do we need these technological advancement everywhere? Maybe it's applicable to some countries, but not to everybody. And that's why when we say that we have a gap between the education and the advancement, maybe the education is following step by step the changes, the gradual changes in a society, and not suddenly
Mhm.
to wake up in the morning that everything is technological advancement and we need to cope. And that's what is happening now. We are coping,
Mhm.
we're not learning, and we're not moving gradually. It's just tomorrow we'll find out that Tesla are making cars that you don't need to drive, and we have to live with
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the cars that are manual and you have to get a license to drive, and this suddenly will be told no, you can't drive. These are the cars that are available in the market, Teslas, and you can only buy them. So that's why I'm talking about the side effect of technology. Yes, it will serve our work, it will make our life much easier. But what
Mm-hmm.
about the side effect? A lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and
Yes.
obesity will kick in. Thinking abilities for the people who are using the machines but don't know how to operate the machines how they're working, how they were designed, how they were done. So we'll just be pressing buttons without knowing how these things operate, and this will affect our intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I
So
think
that's why we
what you
have
said was, yeah. Go ahead, Maryam. Go ahead.
social development goals that all the countries in the world they are signed
Bismillah.
for those goals. Based on each country, they have those 17 goals to make sure that they can, like reach those goals. And most of them, it's about poverty and work and problems and issues, water, like food sector and etc. Something that problems that everyone, like um, struggling
Share.
with in
They
the
all
country
share. Yeah.
and or share.
Yes.
And every country they have to put their strategies and programs and like laws and regulations and etc. based on these goals to achieve based on their countries, based on the problems there in their countries and etc. So this I think is matching with the improvement of technology and education and etc. Because as you said, every country is different than the others, and maybe what
Yes.
I need in Oman, it's not needed in Africa. What's it's needed in Africa,
Mm.
it's not needed in
Yes.
Europe. But
Yes.
in general, because the world is, like a small village now, they say, uh, the economy is going up based on, like the technology itself. So if we didn't use the technology to improve our economy and then create new jobs or like um, for examples in Africa, those people who depend on, like farming or the things that they are doing, manually. But if we change and bring the technology, maybe they produce more and more, so the economy will be, uh, uh, like will increase, and then they will create more jobs and they will create more companies. It's there is of course a negative side, but at the same time there is a positive side if we work on it in a good direction, the technology with the education, with the economy, with the companies, with the regulations and etc., the social impact, the environment impact and etc. But if we just focus on the technology itself, as I said, between the examples between smart cities and sustainable cities, if we focus on the smart cities, of course, we will have a lot of problems related to the people, to the environment, to like we will create new problems for the world. Maybe we will solve
Yes.
one or two problems because of technology, but we will create new problems in terms of social, in terms of environment, in terms of economy, and etc.
Hatim, there's a message for you by Mahmoud. Hatim, do you know how to
Yes.
fix a wheel or change the wheel? Did you know that before you
Yeah.
needed to? In that case, people will be
Yes.
fall safe for this machinery. You'll learn new skills, new ways of fixing things. So yes, what Mahmoud is saying, you will adapt to it. So maybe for now we don't know such things. Even using the use of
Yes.
mobile phones.
Yeah.
The first time you had that phone in your hand, did you know how to use it? No.
No.
Maybe you looked at the
Ali,
manual, maybe you looked at YouTube, and then you got the
Ali,
information.
now
Mm-hmm.
that you mentioned the phone, now that you mentioned the phone, I just want to remark on what you said. This
Yeah.
phone can do 1,000 functions. How many functions do we know out of this phone? It's too
That's a
it's
great
it's
question.
too it's a too advanced equipment that is imposed on us, while most of the functions in this phone we're not using. And this is the case with everybody. Maybe very
Yeah.
few people
Hmm.
know the functions of
Exactly.
this phone or
Hatem,
are
Hatem,
using the functions.
I'll
So,
give you
so
another example.
yes, the technological advancement is there, but
Mm,
do we need it now?
exactly.
Is it
Uh,
essential now?
your car, for example. And I think somebody told me that he's been driving a car for a long time, and I think the moment he decided to sell the car, he noticed the button. I don't know what that button was for. He said, "I never seen that for the for all those years that I've been driving the car, and I didn't know what that button was because he didn't
Yes.
need that button anyway." So yes, I agree
Yeah,
with you.
that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think what we're saying today is not we are not against technological advancement and development and making the life of the humans better. But when there was a question about ethics, about
Mhm.
morals, about
Mm,
gradual change, that's what we're talking about. That nations need to go gradually so
yeah,
that they can benefit, but the benefit is more than the harm.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I give an example with the introduction of microwaves in homes. It made our life so much easier, but how much other health risks came with the microwave?
Yeah.
So yes, it
True.
helps us do our meals very fast, very convenient, very easy to use, user friendly, but in return it has an impact that we might
Mm,
not see now.
yep.
But maybe it has to do with the number of cancer cases, with the diseases that we have, with obesity, with the lifestyle that we have. Now people stopped cooking and they buy frozen food and put them in the microwave, and voila, you have your
Mm,
dinner. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Do we need that type of change?
No, we don't need to adopt all the technology. We have to adopt the technology that it make our life or it's more easier, but at the same time healthier, not harm us, and etc. etc. And I think most of the people now they have this awareness in their lifestyle. I mean, like it's a lifestyle that we adopt also. I mean, like people maybe some of the people they still does not use the microwave because of the health issues, but everyone knows the consequences of some of the tools that we use, for example the telephone or the internet. So we know that we when we use the our phones long hours, that we are um, feeling tired, anxiety, and like not doing anything good, and our eyes and etc. And a lot of uh, maybe problems, health problems, and etc. because of the phone. And everyone knows that. Everyone knows that, and still they are using the phone's long hours. It's a decision that we, like individual make. It's a responsibility of individuals. It's something that we have to take care of it, and we cannot stop technology because we cannot control ourselves.
And I
You
would
know,
add to
we
I would add
cannot.
to this, Maryam. I would add to this what you just said, and maybe because Hatim and I had, we've been through this generation between life with the internet and technology and life before, and maybe it's even more for the generation before us. As an example,
Hmm.
and you mentioned the phone with its problem, but if you ask a person today to give up his phone and live his life without a phone, he will say I can't. But
Yes.
20 or 30 years back, that would have been fine because we never had it, so it's fine. But the moment
Yeah.
that is imposed, I don't know if I use the word imposed to us, then khalas, it becomes part of our life. Banks, for example, in the past we
Hmm.
used to go to bank every time we want to withdraw money. We have to go to the bank. Now then
Yes.
later on they brought ATMs.
The
But now you can even do the transfer and everything while you're sitting in your house using this same phone that Hatim
Yes.
has mentioned.
Yes.
But if you go and ask any of those people, including myself and maybe the previous generation, to give up on that and go to the bank every time you withdraw money, he will say, I can't do that. So I think there's a benefit. Another benefit which we're living into now is the 3D printer.
Yeah.
For example, if I need a particular measurable size of a screw, and a screw, maybe one or two pieces of screw, I need that specific size. Maybe I will not find it in any shops here. Maybe if I Google it, I'll find it somewhere else outside. But I need it with that
Yeah.
specific shape. Maybe I will not find it. But if I find it from outside and I bring it all the way here, the minimum is say you have to buy 50 pieces, and I only need two pieces. If you have the 3D machine or someone who does that for you, then guess what happens? You will get it done within a seconds. Okay, let's be realistic. Within a few minutes, you will get that exact same screw that you're looking for. from next door. So we shouldn't say no to technology. We shouldn't resist it. I know maybe the majority of us always resist new ideas, but then later on it becomes a habit that we cannot give up on.
Did anyone read the novel, the origin of Dan Brown?
No.
No, no.
Basically, the concept of that novel is about how technology will control the human in the future. So it's all
No.
about it's
Wow.
all
I
about
should
how
have read it.
technology will control
I, sh-
humans. So you
I,
have
I should I should
you
have
have to read it.
Did that come after Da Vinci Code or before?
No, it's
I should
the
have read
latest
it.
the latest one, the
The
latest
latest one.
novel. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
the latest one.
Khalas
Yeah,
Ali,
and
my birthday is around the corner. You can buy me the book.
Or just wait for maybe Tom Hanks or whoever to make a movie out of it.
to have a movie. Yeah,
Okay, we
yeah,
have
yeah.
also love for humanity. Let me just open this screen so you can see it clearly. Love for humanity says, I hope gradually is not very slow so we don't get left behind. I agree. Totally agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Like what
Uh,
happened when COVID come and all our universities and colleges is not prepared for online
oh,
online class. I will not say about the
yes,
schools,
yes,
but I will say about the universities and colleges because it's more advanced. And
yes.
I think in every strategy that they have every year, they have to this goal that we will move to online and we have to improve our uh, um, I don't know websites and
Thank you.
etc. etc.
Thank you, Mariam.
So
That's a very good example. That's a very good example. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue. I'm
yeah, so
supporting
we
you in
I
don't
that.
need.
think
I mean, like we don't
I
we don't
think
need like a crisis to
يلا
come
مريم.
so that we think we don't need a crisis to come so we adopt the new technology because of the crisis. We want
Yes.
to be like we are ready for anything that's happening in the future also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes,
I
Hatim.
think I love the technological advancement in ROP, where you get your registration and renewal and
Oh
finds
yeah.
everything in 2 minutes.
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
but I,
yes,
Yes.
but
yes.
I but
Amazing.
but I but I but I also enjoy seeing or talking to the policeman every time I overspeed and he gives me words of advice. I wouldn't want to see
I
They
have
a
have
I
to
have
limit the
robot
speed,
I
coming
by
to
the
have
advise.
way.
I have a better solution
They
for you,
are still
Hatim. Do not speed up, so you don't have to do any of that.
Well, sometimes you miss the RP and you want to smile and
Just come
see
to
the
me.
things.
Just come to me. I'll give you advice. Don't worry, brother.
Inshallah.
this is a good
I
example of
think,
the technology. And also I think Ministry of Regulation, they also
Mm.
having a lot of platforms. Tech, they use the technology a lot for um,
yes.
things related to the Ministry of Regulation, which is very nice. And I'm just like very proud of them that they are using the technology in such a like services that they provide for people. For example, I think more than 400 uh, people graduate this year. They are what's called Hafidin al-Quran from like online without any like
MashaAllah.
stopping their programs or anything. They were ready. They were ready to have online before the crisis is come, before the pandemic come also. So
Yeah.
yeah, we need more examples of this. Examples of let's say a healthy technology. Let's say Hatem.
Yes.
If this is
Yes. Yes. I think we should have a balance in everything. And life
yeah.
is all about balance.
So yes, talking about balance and the technology and future, I think we're running out of time. In fact, we have exceeded our time. I would like to thank you, Maryam, for this fruitful information that you have provided. And
Thank you.
hopefully there won't be any resistance for that. Hatim, please do not resist. And and inshallah, we will see the bright lights in future. Thanks again for honoring us. Thank you very
Inshallah.
much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy that I have this chat and it's like 1 hour like 15 minutes. It's going like this. I mean, like there are a lot of things
Also,
that to talk about the future. So thank you very much, Hatem. Thank you very much, Ali.
Most welcome.
And
shukran,
hopefully
jazakallah khair.
you will have more female as a guest for you.
Then
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
more female than male and robots.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you very much. Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Inshallah.
Thanks a lot.
Shukran. Jazakallah khair. Ahsanti. Shukran.
Okay, Hatem, we'll see you later, inshallah.
Thank you very much for having this show. And I will see you in Ramadan, inshallah. Ramadan Kareem. You
Ramadan
don't
Kareem
have
to
to
you
fast.
too. I
You
have
don't
to
have to
fast
fast
half.
because
I have to fast half a day because of the half human me in me. You know, half human. What's the fatwa?
Yallah.
Yalla.
Hayak.
Hayakallah. Ma'as-salama. And for those of you who please like and share this show, this episode. And if you have not subscribed, to please do subscribe and hit that indication button. Hayyakumullah. Wassalamu
Hayak.
alaikum.
Ma'as-salam. Hayak.